Hi, my name is Haley from Haley's Food and Drink Pairing. If you haven't been to my website yet, my goal is to teach people who either know a lot or a little about pairing food with different wines and beers how it works, and I strongly encourage you to visit my WordPress website, drinkpairing.food.blog, after watching this video if you're interested in learning more. Today, I'm here to teach you guys about one of the most popular food and wine combos, cheese and red wine. I'm going to teach you about the 6 main categories of cheeses, what the cheese types in each category are, and what red wines work best for each category. I will also show you how to find these different types of wines and why these pairings complement each other. So the 6 main categories of cheeses are bloomy, blue, fresh, hard, semi-soft, and washed rind, and I'm going to get into what each of these mean. So the first type is bloomy cheese, and these are named for the bloom of the white mold on the outside. They tend to be the richest and creamiest type of cheese with a soft, spreadable texture, and while the outside is edible, it has a stronger, funkier flavor than the inside. The 3 most common types of bloomy cheeses are Brie, which is at the top left, Camembert, which is at the top right, and Robiola, which is at the bottom. So because bloomy cheeses are so rich and creamy in their flavor and texture, you want a dry, light-bodied wine that is young, fruity, and unoaked. And the most common form of this is in Pinot Noirs, and I think that's the easiest to find. So you want dry because this is so rich, you want it light because it's so rich. When I say a young wine, that means just maybe a couple years old, maybe a more mainstream brand like Barefoot would make more sense. You don't want a vintage wine that's been aged for so long. And you definitely want something with fruity notes. And if you go to your local liquor store or wine store, a lot of the signs should say what kind of notes are in the wine. And if not, you can definitely ask somebody who works there. Most people are very nice to help. So next up is blue cheese, and the most common characteristic seen in these is the veins of blue mold that run through them. They can be soft and creamy or semi-soft and crumbly, which is the most common. Some are sweeter, and some are milder, but all pack a pretty good deal of sharpness and tang. The main types of blue cheeses are from the top left, Cambozola, Danish Blue, Gorgonzola, Roquefort, and Stilton. So for blue cheese, because they're so sharp and tangy, you're going to want a sweet fortified red. So you can have a vintage port or a Mori, anything that's really, really sweet and fortified. Fresh cheese is soft and rindless, and they can be made with cow, goat, or sheep milk. They're not aged and have a mild, slightly tangy flavor. The main types of fresh cheeses are burrata, cheddar or goat cheese, feta cheese, mozzarella, and ricotta. So for fresh cheeses, you're going to want a very young, fruity, unoaked red wine, which is very similar to the bloomy cheeses. And so you can get Cabernet Franc, Pinot Noirs. Now, because hard cheeses are aged for so long, they are quite firm and break into crumbles or shards. They also tend to have nutty and complex savory notes. Some are fairly pungent and salty. Some examples of the hard cheeses are cheddar, double Gloucester, Parmesan, and Pecorino. So for hard cheeses, they have that nutty, complex, savory note, and you're going to want a bold wine with some age. So you don't necessarily need a vintage wine, but you want something that's been aged for a couple of years. The most common form of these would be Bordeaux blends, and you want it from a cooler climate like Bordeaux or Margaret River. Next is semi-soft cheese, and they're not exactly spreadable, but they also don't break into shards like hard cheese, but they definitely turn hard when they are aged. They tend to be creamy and fairly mild in flavor. The main types of semi-soft cheeses are Gouda, which is the most popular, Gruyere, and Havarti. So because semi-soft cheeses are so mild, you can play around with bolder wines, and especially Chiantis, and according to one website that I will link below, you want a, quote, gutsy, rustic, crunchy wine without much oak. The final type is washed rind cheese, which is usually bathed in brine, beer, or wine and produces a distinct orange rind. They're rich and creamy, and they can be soft or semi-soft in texture. They're also funkier than bloomy cheeses, with a gamey, pungent note. The main types of washed rind cheeses are Époisse, Fontina, Reblochon, and Taleggio, and you can notice that all 4 of these have the orange rind. Now again, Pinot Noirs are really common to pair with cheeses, so for washed rind cheeses, again, you can pair with Pinot Noir. So I hope this video helped you guys out with learning the basics of pairing the most common cheeses with the most common wines. And again, we only focused on red wines in this video, Maybe I'll post a video about white wines or other drinks. If you're looking for any further information, please visit my website, drinkpairing.food.blog. On the website, you can also find my email if you'd like to contact me directly and have any further questions or further specifications on what I mean. Again, this is a very quick, general video about a very specific aspect. But if you found this video helpful at all, please hit subscribe and hit the like button and check out my website. And hopefully I'll get another video up soon. Bye!